Before I let that beat drop, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to welcome everybody to season 5 of the Late Afternoon Show. It's your boy, Tim, Mr. Meaningful Work. Let's get these vibrations started, guys. Woo! Baby, you and me on the same frequency. Hey, hey, hey. This must be a sign. I got to make you mine. Yo, Jasmine, what's up? Thank you for joining us on the Late Afternoon Show. While we are getting ready to start, please let us know in the chat where you are joining from, city, state, country, wherever. Let us know your name so we can see and engage with you. We're about to get this party started. Vibe, baby.
Vibrations. Vibrations.
Hey, 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 hey.
Sitting on the edge of the pool, hanging with the rest of your crew, flashing those big brown eyes at me. As I was walking by, saw that your book was right. See,
guys, we have a few announcements that I'm excited about for this season. Stay tuned as we make some big announcements today, you know.
an opportunity. Oh yeah, electric magnetism in the air. Call me out of nowhere. Oh, I'm buzzing like guitars and rock and roll. You give me those good old vibrations.
And the reason we play this song, Vibrations, because we're all about the good vibes, the meaningful work vibes, the positivity, the motivation, and we want to bring it to you in the middle of the week. We didn't do it on Monday. We don't do it on Friday. Just right there in the middle, when you need that pick-me-up, like that 2:30 coffee in the middle of the day. The late afternoon on a Tuesday is that coffee to give you those good vibes. So join us. Let us know where you're at. We're going to get started with our first guest of the season. Oh my gosh. Let us go.
Baby, you and me on the same frequency. This must be a sign. I got to make you mine.
Hey.
It's a vibe. Vibration. It's a vibe. Vibrations.
For the folks that are coming in, if you would do me a favor and send this as a message to somebody else, tag them in, tell them to come and join us today. We have the awesome, the amazing, the eclectic, the decorated, all of the adjectives, Sarah Johnston with us today. So if you are here to learn about how to find meaningful work, learn about her journey and landing dream jobs, how she is the best at what she does, tag them in. Shoot them a little message. Let them know Tim is live with Sarah today. We're about to get started in about 20 seconds. Let's go.
Oh my God. Had to let down
What's
my
up,
guard
Izzy?
when you asked me about my zodiac sign. Now the ball's in my court, bouncing it back and forth, knocking down shots from the 3-point line. Oh yeah,
Hey.
electric magnetism in the air. Caught me out of nowhere.
It's a vibe.
I must have met you a lifetime ago. You give me those
Good old vibrations.
Baby, you and me
On the same frequency.
This must be a sign. I got to
All right, guys, I'm about to cut you off there. I'm not even gonna let the song end. I'm a bad DJ, right? DJs are supposed to only use like 30 seconds of a song and then slide into the next song. I'm out here playing an entire 3 minutes of a song. I got to do better at my DJing skills. But guys, I am so excited to be here with you on season 5 of the Late Afternoon Show. It has been a journey. It has been such an incredible learning journey, so much growth, so much exposure that I've gotten to how folks see, feel, experience meaningfulness in the work that they're doing, their different paths to that. And today's show, season 5 is actually our 40th episode. Woo! I need to have a bim. Oh, where's my oh man, I didn't download my siren, but it is our 40th episode today. We have talked to 39 phenomenal leaders, movers, shakers, influencers in the journey to discovering and experiencing meaningfulness in the work that you're doing. And I'm so excited to be joined today by the Sarah Johnston. She is a coach. She is a speaker with a briefcase coach. She has amassed an amazing following of over a million with an M, baby, with our M, with million followers on LinkedIn. She's on YouTube. She's on Twitter, and really changing folks' lives. And so, without further ado, let me get, where's my audience? Where's my stage audience? Here they are. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome to the stage, Sarah! All right, guys, settle down. Yes. All right, quiet down.
You've been feeling like a celebrity.
That because you are. It feels like the Ellen DeGeneres show when you have to like dance in and like scoot in and everybody's clapping and cheering. That's the kind of vibe that we were trying to make, Sarah. How are you feeling?
I'm digging it. You've made me feel like I have arrived.
Yes. We're rolling out the red carpet for you. Sarah, I am so excited that we have this opportunity to connect today. How have you been? How has your new year been so far?
My new year's been great. I am just thankful that 2021 is, in the past. And I think 2022, it's like all the years are running together as of late. It's getting off to a bang with Omicron. You, I have young kids, and every day it's kind of like, are my kids going to get sent home from school today? Are we going to get to go to school tomorrow? But so far, so good. Knock on wood. They're doing well. Everybody's healthy, and it's going to be a great year.
Yeah, it's just so beautiful. I see all these memes and tweets and videos. I don't know if you've seen that video of Muhammad Ali. He's like on the side of the ropes and somebody's trying to punch him and he just keeps going like this. It's like the people that have dodged Omicron and Delta and like the regular virus, so they're like punching. He's like, wah. I feel like that's how my kids have been. Like we said,
it's like whack-a-mole. You're right.
Exactly. It's exactly that. And so we just go every day. Our school actually last week they announced, it was like, oh man, there were not exposures at the school, but kind of like, around. And so I was just looking through the email. I was like, please don't say you're closing down. Please don't say you're closing down. It's like, no, we're just moving to like a cohort classroom type of thing. I was like, oh, thank goodness. And so it is a struggle. How old are your kids?
I have a 4-year-old, she just turned 5, a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old. And my 5-year-old is at a preschool, and all the classrooms except for hers are currently closed because there's an exposure in the classroom. So every day I'm just like, is today the day?
It's today. Yeah, we're just holding on. But thank God for his blessings. We've been able to make it through. Everybody is happy and healthy. What's up, Izzy? My brother is here in the house. Thank you so much for joining us. Megan, thank you so much for coming through. Oh, Megan got her meaningful work shirt. Oh, folks, if you're trying to get the I Do Meaningful Work merch, hit me up. I got a few more left. Megan got some, so she got the boys all donned up in I Do Meaningful Work. Jasmine, thank you for coming through. Jasmine, by the way, is the one that is responsible for these amazing graphics. So this overlay that we have here on the platform, the flyers that we send out, and then we post. Jasmine, thank you so much for that beautiful design work. But we're going to jump right into it today, Sarah. And I just want to ask you a question that I ask most or all of my guests in lieu of an official reading of a bio, is for you to tell us, what are you famous for? Whether in your larger circles, smaller circles, professional life, whatever. I'm famous for telling stories and eating tacos. Like that's my thing. But what are you famous for?
I love that. I think professionally, I hope that I'm known for helping people figure out their greatness and articulate their stories better so that they can find meaningful work. I think as a friend and kind of as a person out in the world, people know me as being the cruise ship planner for our friend group or for my family. And what I mean by that is I'm always like planning this event or that event. I'm a true extrovert.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I think my little brother, we're planning a boys trip for my birthday coming up, and my brother is that for us. Like if I say like I have an idea to go to this place, he's like, oh well, we should probably go here, and then we can actually do these different things, and we accommodations. Like in this area, you should do hotel versus an Airbnb listing. These are the activities, and I'm like, okay, bro. Like,
Oh yeah, that's totally me. I like live for the trips that I get to plan.
I love that. I love that. So Sarah John, you're now in. So you work at is Brief Coach. Is that your organization?
It is. It's my business.
Nice, nice. And you've had that for what, 6, 7, 8 years now, or how long?
6 years. Yeah.
Okay, nice, nice. And so, talk to us a little bit about your journey. So, if we were to talk about, I know you were in corporate recruiting for a little bit. Now you're doing it for yourself. What was that transition going from doing it for others to doing it for yourself? Talk to us about that.
I think my story is somewhat unique in that I'm married to someone whose job has made us move every 3 to 4 years.
Hmm.
And with that comes some baggage. Like I was always looking for a job on my husband's timeline, and people knew what he did. It wasn't a secret. And so people would always ask me, was your husband happy here? Do you think you guys will stay in town? And so I never got to create my own professional identity. And it was really all around kind of his timeline and his schedule. And so every time I got settled and was really eligible for an opportunity to advance, that we moved and I had to look for a new job. And so for me, my entrepreneurial journey started when my second daughter was born. I was paying an arm and a leg for 2 kids in daycare, and we were about to move again. And I was like, I can't start over again. I need to do something for myself, and I need to create something. I always had this passion for helping people. And even though I was a recruiter, I think that skill set is incredibly valuable to me now as a resume writer and as a career coach, because I know what it takes to look for a job, because I've had to be a job seeker, but I also know the ins and outs of hiring and what recruiters and what hiring managers are looking for in candidates.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. And you said you had this passion for helping people, like from a very young age, did you know that, or was it just kind of high level? I want to help folks, or like, I want to do it specifically in recruiting. Like, did you want to be a recruiter when you were a kid? Like, was that your dream
I wanted
job?
to be Katie Couric when I was a kid.
Okay.
But
We're close.
I actually wrote a paper in college. My senior paper, I had to write this very, very detailed paper for a leadership class I was in. And I still have it today. My goal in the paper was to be a recruiter and to help people find careers where they can flourish. And those are my exact words in the paper.
Wow.
And as I was a recruiter, I realized something, and that is that recruiters are working for a company, and their goals are the company's goals, not necessarily the individual's goals. So sometimes I was, hiring someone who maybe wasn't the very best person for the job, or maybe it wasn't best for that person's long-term goals, because I was working for the company and their priorities. So now as a coach, I really do get to fulfill that dream of mine of helping people land where they flourish.
That is awesome. That is awesome. What would you describe as a very good day for you? Like, if you were to describe the perfect day, like in work with your clients, like what would that look like for you?
I spend a lot of time on the phone with clients, a lot of time actively listening and asking questions. So a great day for me would probably involve maybe 2 really long, meaningful conversations with clients where we uncover their stories and they learn something about themselves that maybe they didn't know before. And then maybe a couple phone calls with clients where we tweak their job search strategy and they have an aha moment, or I get an email from a client where they landed a job that they've been really excited about, or they got an interview and they want some feedback from me. So for me, a great day involves people. It involves listening, engaging with people, and helping them advance professionally.
That is awesome. Do you say that you get to have a lot of those good days, like 4 out of 5 days, 5 out of 5 days, 8 out of 7? What does that normally look like for you?
Yeah, I'd say about 80% of the time I have a great
Nice.
day. And I usually say if you have 70% of your time is a good day, then you've got a great job. And I've got
Yeah.
about 80% of my time is a great day. So I feel very, very lucky.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Megan is saying that she'll be doing both recruiting and coaching, active listening in both roles. And I just love the distinction that you made by way of recruiting and how it's, within an organization's, the disconnect between goals, right? Either, what the person is wanting to do or versus what the organization is, where the organization is trying to go. And you really wanted to align more so. I mean, yeah, we can help the organization reach their goals, but how do I make sure that the person is doing work that is meaningful to them? And so what does that, because I talk a lot about that as far as like, how do you discover what meaningful work is for you? Is it in your current role? Is it in the future role? Is it something outside of your job? Do you feel like folks have a good sense of what is meaningful work for them when they come and talk to you?
That's a great question. About 20% of people that reach out to me don't know what meaningful work is, and they don't know what they want to do, and they feel lost. I see it more with early career professionals or people who've been generalists for most
Yeah.
of their career. One thing that I want to hit on, and I'd love your feedback on, is I don't believe in dream jobs. In fact, I removed dream jobs or that title from all
Yeah.
of my marketing material because I do not think dream jobs exist. I think, kind of like you asked me before, and it was such a great question, what percentage of your day do you like, or what percentage of your week do you like?
Yeah.
Work is work.
Yeah.
Even though I
Yeah.
love what I do, and
Yeah.
even though I feel just so honored to get to do this, there are some days that are really, really stinking hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like questioning if this
Yeah.
is the right decision, but that's just
Yeah.
because it's work and the nature of how work is.
Yeah.
But I think the definition of meaningful work is understanding what your priorities and what your values are. And when you understand your priorities and your values and your strengths, and you can find that connection or that bridge, that's when you're going to be satisfied with the job that you have.
Yeah. That's good. And I hope folks are taking notes here as far as, that satisfaction. And there's a comedian that has something that somebody asked him about his dream job, and he was like, I don't dream about labor. Like, like that is, I don't have a dream job. Like, that's not the thing that I spend my dreams on. But when you find something that's, fulfilling, one of my guests earlier, I think, at the beginning of this year, when I was asking him how he would define meaningful work, he made a good comparison of something that's both impactful, right? Something that externally impactful, but also internally fulfilling. And once you get a nice mix of those things, if you can get a big part of your day or job, doing those things, then I think you're probably winning.
And I think the pandemic has also just brought up the lifestyle component as well. Like,
Yeah.
as we evaluate what our priorities are, there's that lifestyle piece of, I don't want to be working all the time, or I
Yeah.
want to be able to see my family or not have to make that commute. And so a lot of times people don't evaluate the lifestyle piece when they're looking at a job, but that's
Yeah.
just as important. Most
Yeah.
of us don't live to work, we work to live.
Yeah.
And so we need to know where we value there.
Yeah. A question about, you talked about the pandemic, and the pandemic has rippled and shaken and, just messed up our lives in so many different ways. But one of the big things that has come out of it, you've probably heard of the term, the Great Resignation. Are you familiar with that?
Oh,
That
yeah. I
term?
mean, even my mom is familiar with that.
Yeah.
There was a
Yeah.
60-minute segment on it or over the weekend. So everybody in
Yeah.
my life has been texting me, "Is this real? Is this a real thing?"
Yeah. Yeah. And so how have you been, let me just start there. How have you been answering them? Like what are some of your responses to that? Because my specific question was, do you see a theme or an undercurrent in all the folks that you've helped in navigating moving jobs or moving roles? Do you see a common theme as far as like why folks are up and leaving in droves like this, particularly now versus in the years before?
It's such a complex question, and I think it's multi-layered, and it
Yeah.
really depends on the segment of the population. I think
Mm,
for one piece of the pie, you've got women who maybe have young children at home, and the just burden of the childcare and that whack-a-mole
yeah.
mentality that we were talking about before,
Yeah.
it's just become so much,
Yeah.
and they are exhausted. And there's just a lot of research out there from McKinsey and Company and the Pew Research Center that says that a lot of the great resignation is actually women who have had to pull out of the workforce, unfortunately.
Mm,
So I think that's a piece of the pie. I think you've got a percentage of people who also have had no separation between life and work over the
mm,
last 2 years because they've
yeah.
been working remotely. And we look at the data and we know people have been working longer hours.
Yeah.
They're in their offices, all day. They don't have that human interaction as much, or that face to face as much. And so they're just tired and they're burnt out from looking at their screens.
Yeah.
And then I think there's just some piece of the pie too that they just want something new. They've been
Yeah.
doing the same thing, and they are looking at this as an opportunity to get paid more because maybe they're underpaid and inflation, and there's an opportunity to make more money by jumping ship. So I think it's just a very complex question. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would agree. It is, I think it has more to do with, um, I've seen in two different articles that it's really about being valued and
Mhm.
feeling cared for. That the folks that are leaving, especially like women, and the kids and like childcare and things like that. But there's also a layer of like the organization not either articulating that we care about you, and so we're going to give you the time that you need, or the flexibility that you need, or the resources that you need to tackle some of these things. A lot of the times, when folks are leaving, it leaves more work for
Mhm.
those that are staying, and so the folks that are left with double load, or increased load, with not an increase in resources or in compensation and in things like that. And so that that underlying sense of I'm valued, I'm cared for, and if they're not seeing that, because there's so many options. I mean, I think we have more options, by way of jobs, and like folks coming, the economy coming back up, and so more people are hiring. And so it's like, yeah, let me find another organization that will care for me. Or I'm just going to battle out on my own. There was an article that I read where folks will just leave with no other option. Like, I'm just going to spend the time with my kids. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to take some time for my own personal and mental health. And that's the move and the decisions that they're making. So I think it's very interesting to see how things shape up. Very interesting question here from Megan. Can you see the chat, Sarah?
I can, and she's
You see
posted
that
some
question
great
from?
thoughts.
Yes, yes. Do you see her question on strengths? So
No,
it
I
says,
don't. Oh,
how would you define strengths?
great question, Megan. Um, I think it's different for every person. I am a big fan of the assessment strengths finder, and I love the way that the Gallup organization has defined strengths. And I love the research that they give you based on your strengths. There's also a fantastic book and assessment that goes along with Strength Finder called UMAP, and it was written by Kristen Sherry. And it helps you understand your strengths from the Gallup Strengths Finder in relation to ONET, which is a wonderful government tool that helps you map out your career along with understanding your values. So if you're someone listening today and you don't know your strengths, I'm a big fan of both of those two resources.
Can you say those again? I'm gonna put that in the chat box here. So the first one was what? EMAP?
It's the UMAP, and it was written by Kristen Sherry. It's a book and assessment, and she often runs deals where you can get the book for 99 cents, the Kindle version. She's a fantastic person. The
Nice.
other is the Gallup Strengths Finder, and you can actually take the assessment yourself as an individual, and it's just $20 on the Gallup website to take the assessment and learn your top 5 strengths. It's excellent. If you're someone who really doesn't know yourself well and you don't know your strengths, it's worth it to find a coach like Megan. It looks like she's a Gallup certified coach to go through the assessment with you and ask you questions and help you discover what it is that you do really well. But I think both of those resources are excellent and at great price points.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So we're going to do a quick transition. We're going to do some audience participation. We're going to learn a little bit about Sarah here today before we go into our last few questions. We're going to play this game called Do You Know Me? Can you guys see that there? Do you know me? So it's a yes or no. Yes or no. So you're going to put in the chat your response. And these questions are about Sarah. Do you think it is a yes or a no? We'll start off easy, and then Sarah is going to confirm for us whether it is true or not. So the first question, this is a practice round, is has Sarah ever been camping? Has Sarah ever been camping? Just put yes or no in the chat. Has Sarah ever been camping? While folks are answering that question, how often before the pandemic and things like that, how often were you on the road traveling, Sarah?
Well, now that I have young kids, not as much as before, but I used to be in a 50% travel job, and I racked up a Southwest Companion Pass. So I really enjoy traveling, but just haven't traveled quite as much as I would like to over the past few years.
Yes. Do you have any favorite spots?
In the world, I would say Argentina is the most beautiful place I've ever been. It's
what do you love
gorgeous,
about
and
Argentina?
the food is incredible.
Yes, yes. All right. So let's see. Has Sarah ever been camping? We have yes, yes. Everybody says a resounding yes. Sarah, can you confirm for us, yes or no? Have you ever been camping?
I have been camping.
You say that like, oh, I do camping. Now, is it camping or glamping? Like, is it like beds and refrigerators and all those things, or like?
I've only been like actual camping, and I've done it a few times. I'm not the best camper though. Like, I'm known for bringing things like Chick-fil-A to a camp out, or a charcuterie board. So I'm just, I'm
the things that you would find in the wilderness, right? Like
exactly.
Yeah. All right. Here is another question for you. Do we think Sarah owns a pair of cowboy boots? Does Sarah own a pair of cowboy boots? While folks are answering that, do you play any instruments or have any or genre of music that you particularly like?
I am the least musical person, and that is like my biggest regret in life is that I didn't take any music lessons. I can't snap on beat. It's so bad.
What kind of music do you like?
I like all music. I like rap music. I like country music, Christian music. I mean, I love all spectrums of music, but like I just have no rhythm. It's really bad.
Somebody just created a playlist for me, a country music playlist that I think I only know one song. Baby, turn them lights and dim them lights down low. What's it like? Josh something. Yeah. Oh, baby, lock them doors and turn the lights down low. Something like that. That's the only one. I only know that line, but now I have a whole playlist. So
that's great.
We'll
you sound awesome.
All
I need you to work on that. Like, I need you to get the whole song down.
I will. I'll do a whole karaoke thing. Megan says no. Jasmine says yes with the question mark. So do you own a pair of cowboy boots?
I do own some cowboy boots. I have like 6 pairs of cowboy boots. They were really popular back when I was in college, and
Yeah.
so I still have those shoes. And I also grew up in the South. I think you by
That it's
default
probably
have to
like a
have cowboy
requirement.
boots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So here is the last one. Has Sarah ever been suspended from school? Has Sarah ever been suspended from school? Um, while they're thinking about that, what was your major in college? What did you study?
I majored in Friends.
In friends? People, connections, relationships.
No,
Yes.
I mean, I really majored in communications and business leadership, but I tell people I majored in Friends because I mean, that's basically all I did is hang out with
Yeah.
people and things like that.
Yeah. That is awesome. That is awesome. I did. And did you go to school in Carolina?
I went to the University of Georgia.
Oh yeah, you said that. UGA, you guys just won a championship. Let's go.
Go
Bulldogs.
Dogs!
Yes, yes. Megan is saying where in the South? Yeah, Georgia. Georgia. All right, Megan is saying yes, she has been suspended. Megan is an affirmative never. Never. What would you confirm for us whether you have been suspended from school?
No.
No. Did you ever have friends that have been suspended?
I mean, I grew up in a small town, so I knew everybody, but
Yeah.
my mom would have just straight up murdered me if
Oh,
I
yeah.
had ever gotten suspended.
Yeah. No, some of those things are non-options.
Not optional.
Non-options for folks. So thank you guys for playing. That was just a little do you know me to get to know our guests a little bit more. Sarah, I got 2 more questions for you, and then we'll let you go. The one question that I have is, as we're thinking about as folks are like, looking for jobs and trying to position themselves to either get into a new career or switch careers or things like that, what would you say is, if we were to do some myth busting, right? What are some assumptions or thoughts or myths that people have around job search that is not true? If you can just pick one for us.
I think that a lot of people feel like high activity, meaning if I apply for a lot of jobs, that it's a numbers game, and that the more jobs I applied for, the more likely I will be to land the job that I want. And the thing that I would tell people is that job searching isn't a numbers game. It only takes one conversation to change the trajectory of your job search. And so I'd rather people focus in on exactly what they want to do and craft a resume that's really geared towards that dream opportunity. Because marketing 101 is know your target audience and know your pain points. If a
Right.
company has a lot of candidates and they're, 100 applicants for a single position, they're going to focus in on the candidates first that look the best on paper, that match the pain points of the opportunity, and that really speak the language of the job description.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I'll say to that topic is that networking is so powerful. If you can find a decision maker or someone who's a connector that can help you get a conversation at one of your target companies, you're going to be so much more successful than if you just keep applying for jobs online.
Oh man, I love that. Networking, relationship building, like you did, major in friends. That will be to your benefit. I am curious though. How do you see? Do you feel like the resume is still going to be as important in 5 or 10 years with the growth of like LinkedIn and networking and relationships and things like that? Is it still important that folks put effort into having a good resume?
It's a great question. I mean, obviously, I'm in the resume business and I, profit off of resumes.
Yeah.
I think that for an executive job seeker, it's still extremely valuable. You need a way in a condensed manner to display your value to a company. A resume is a marketing document.
Yeah.
it brings up a great question around video, and you've seen the rise of TikTok for
Yeah.
job applications and video applications. I think people are going to get hired by these in the future, but it's just going to be tricky because a resume is something that a recruiter can consume so quickly. I mean, the average
True.
recruiter only spends between 6 and 8 seconds scanning a resume. If you're going to watch a video, even a TikTok video, you've got to invest like 20 to 35 seconds to just absorb who the candidate is. So I don't know that there's a faster way to get a quick glimpse of a candidate other than a resume at this moment.
Yeah. So resumes are still meaningful. Resumes are still there just for a quick consumable content of who you are, but still build the networks, still show how dynamic you are. Is there like one thing, if we were just to give like general advice to folks by way of how to craft a good resume, is there like a quick hack that folks can, if they want to go back and take something from the conversation with Sarah and go and update their resume real quick, what is one thing that folks can do today?
Yeah, 2 quick pieces of advice. I think the first one, and this is so easy, is instead of having an objective statement at the top of the resume, include the title of the job that you're applying for or the theme of the job as a header at the top. It gives that reader a preview of who you are, and it just kind of mirrors the language from the job description. The other thing that I would tell people is not to be afraid of a little bit of design. I'm not saying go out and buy an Etsy template that's got your picture on the top and, bright pink sparkles.
Yeah.
Don't do that. But
Yeah.
a little bit of design and shading can help make the resume easier to read for the end user. I mean, the whole goal of a resume is to make it as easy as possible for the recruiter to digest who you are in relation to the job description, and design can help with that, can trick the
Nice.
eyes to read what you want them to read.
Nice. So a little bit of design, but also taking the theme, the title, the role, and putting that at the top to pull that in and align you, the candidate, to what the folks are looking for. So I appreciate that. Last question: meaningful work in all that you've done, all that you've experienced, people that you've helped. If you were to define meaningful work, how would you do that?
Meaningful work is going to bed at night and sleeping good because you know that the work that you did that day made the world a better place, made someone feel valued, and yeah, that's it. I sleep good at night.
Nice, because you know that what you've done has helped somebody. Do you? How often do you stay in touch with your clients after they've been placed or put into other positions? Are they still kind of reaching back and keeping the relationship going?
It depends. I've worked with hundreds of job seekers.
Yeah.
I have a call tomorrow with a job seeker who I wrote his resume 4 years ago, and
Yeah.
he just wants to have a conversation with me and just update him on life. So it depends on the client, and some of them are more responsive and keep in touch with me more than others, and I love it when they do.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for spending some time with us on this first season of the first episode of the Late Afternoon Show. Just some quick announcements for folks is that this is the last season. This is our final season of the Late Afternoon Show because we are going to be following our own advice and pursuing meaningful work and focus. And we're actually creating a course. We're creating a course and we're currently validating it with different stakeholders. And so by the end of this season, come April, we're going to be launching that. So I'm very excited about that. But we are going to have all these episodes. The conversation I just had with Sarah is going to be on the Meaningful Work website. It's going to be on Spotify. It's going to be on iTunes so that these conversations can live on and you can refer back to them. And we will be reposting and resharing as we go through. And then for folks that are interested, we also have a group on LinkedIn, the Meaningful Work Movement, where we'll be posting exclusive content, having polls and conversations to really just help in that community of folks that are looking to discover and experience meaningfulness in the work that they do. And finally, if anybody's interested in getting a Meaningful Work shirt, let me know. We have a few of them left so that folks can they can embody it, literally embody it, and put their hands in it and move around and let folks know I do meaningful work. Oh, what kind of meaningful work do you do? Oh, let's talk about that. And it just sparks conversation. So that is it for us today. Thanks everybody for joining us in the chat. We will have a summary of what we talked about today on our post tomorrow. Sarah, thank you so much. What's the best way that folks can connect with you? Is there a website? Is there an account that folks can connect with? What's the best way?
So my website is www.briefcasecoach.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn. And I just really wanted to thank you. This has been so fun. Thank you for letting me be your 40th guest. It's just been an honor. And I think the work that you do is so needed and so cool. And I love your brand and how meaningful work is tied into every single thing that you do. That's what I tell job seekers. You have to have a focus, and you've done that. You've done such a great job on your overall brand.
Oh man, I'm blushing, but you can't see it because that is I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. So folks, we are going to sign off. Everybody enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Join us next Tuesday for our next guest here on the Late Afternoon Show. And with that, we are going to end. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Bye-bye.